Hey there guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. As most of you may remember, at one point I did tell you guys I was a huge movie fan. I think I said it in the middle of like a Q&A video that was like 35 minutes long, so if you don't know, now you know. So today I thought I would sit down and talk about some of my favorite movies because honestly a lot of people haven't heard of most of my favorite movies, and this is kind of my way of being like, check them out because they deserve a lot more hype than they probably got. So today I've got a list of 10 movies I'm going to be sharing with you. For the record, these are all movies that are not technically in like the Disney category because I like too many movies to try to put just 10 together. So these are my non-Disney favorite movies, and if you guys like this list, then maybe I will do a Disney/family list next. Also, before I get into this, I also wanted to mention that I've actually been considering doing like a movie review channel. Because honestly, if you guys could see my living room, the reason why I don't film down there is because I have this like 6-foot tall bookshelf that's like 5 or 6 feet wide, that is filled from top to bottom and even stacked up on top with like movies that are VHS tapes. I have 4 huge cases that have like loose DVDs in them. I honestly am a collector. If I find a movie I like or an actor I like, I will go out of my way to buy every single movie that actor is in. Like, I'm weird, I get it, it's okay. But without further ado, here's my list. Alright, so the first movie is called The Cure. It was released in 1995. It's starring Brad Renfro and Joseph Mazzello. Brad Renfro is one of my favorite actors. You'll probably hear his name a couple times in this list. So The Cure is about 2 boys, one of which contracted AIDS through a blood transfusion when he was an infant. And they're trying to find the cure to his disease before they run out of time. It is an amazing movie. I have shown it to multiple of my friends and almost every single one of them love it. Like, my sister bought it for me in DVD form for my birthday, considering I only had it in VHS. And I was like, I'm not putting it in the VHS player because if it gets broken, I will die. So yeah, that's my number 1. Number 2, River Wild, 1994. And it's starring Meryl Streep, Kevin Bacon, John C. Reilly, and Joseph Mazzello. The storyline is essentially a family goes on a white water rafting trip, and they run into a group who not only doesn't understand how the river works, but they're also kind of troublemakers, and they definitely cause a little more rough water for the family than they were expecting. Number 3 is The Client, released in 1994, starring Susan Sarandon, Tommy Lee Jones, and, wait for it, Brad Renfro. I told you, you'd hear his name more than once. So the plotline of The Client is a lawyer who represents mafia members and knows where a senator's body who had been murdered was buried. Goes to the forest to commit suicide, and 2 little boys happen to stumble upon him and see what he's doing, and while trying to stop him, they ended up getting themselves involved in a situation they really had no business being involved in. And so basically the movie is them trying to get out of the situation that they're involved in, more or less. Number 4, Glitter, from 2001, starring Mariah Carey and Max Beesley. So this movie is, I believe it was produced by Mariah Carey, and it was actually made before she even really became famous, before she really blew up. And the movie is about a girl who was taken away from her mother at a very young age, and her mother was a musician, so she always thought music was the way to reconnect with her mom, kind of thing. And then when she's older and she's out of the foster system and all that, she ends up becoming pretty good, pretty big music star. But there's a lot of drama behind the scenes, and it's actually a very interesting movie. I was honestly a huge fan of Mariah Carey when I was younger, and I guess I love the music in it. So if you guys are fans of musical movies at all, then it's definitely a movie you should check out. Number 5, Jack Frost, starring Kelly Preston and Michael Keaton. So the storyline behind this movie is that a musician who passes away on Christmas leaves a son behind who looks to the Christmas magic to give him a little more time with his father. And his father comes back in a different form. So he comes back as a snowman. And it's honestly, it's a beautiful movie. I love it so much. I feel like, in a way, I relate to it a lot. Yeah. Beautiful movie. I highly recommend you check it out. Even if it's not Christmas, it's an all-year movie. I don't care what anyone says. Number 6, we've got Titanic, starring Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. This movie is about the historic ship, the Titanic, which was unsinkable, or so they thought, until it hits an iceberg and it sinks. And there's a beautiful love story involved. There's a lot of personal stories involved. There's a whole lot of rich to poor background stories involved. Beautiful movie. I honestly think it's probably the most watched movie in my history. I've probably watched that movie a lot more times than I should admit. Yeah, that's that. Right, number 7 is Twister, starring Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. So Twister is about a tornado. A woman, when she was younger, her father was killed by a tornado, and then she has basically dedicated her life to learning how to track and stop tornadoes or end them faster, and better yet, how to predict them coming sooner, so that people can get to safety. It's an amazing movie. The graphics are amazing. The storylines are amazing. It's honestly, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Number 8, Soul Surfer, which is starring Helen Hunt, Anna Sophia Robb, and Dennis Quaid. This movie is based on Bethany Hamilton, who was a pro surfer, and then a shark bit her arm off while she was swimming. And this movie is based on her experience and her healing. I don't know exactly how close it is to her real story, but I do know that she was on set, and I know that she handpicked Anna Sophia Robb to play her. Anna Sophia Robb is an amazing actress. She's also from Bridge to Terabithia and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But of course, like, having Helen Hunt and Dennis Quaid on the set as well, they are, I don't even know how, like, somebody could walk on the set and see them and still, like, breathe. I don't understand. It's an amazing movie, though. I think it's raised a lot of awareness toward Bethany Hamilton, but I think at the same time, it's also, it's really about, like, never giving up, and, like, how powerful dreams can be, and how much hard work can pay off. It's an amazing movie. I saw it in the theaters, and I remember going home and just, like, crying. And to add, that movie was from 2011. I don't think I mentioned that. Number 9, Forever Young, released in 1992, starring Mel Gibson, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Elijah Wood. This movie is like an actual science fiction. So there's no wizards, there's no magic. It's legitimately science. And so this man, Mel Gibson, after tragedy kind of strikes, he decides to do his good friend Henry Finley a favor by testing out his experiment, which is freezing somebody so that they can, basically come to life another time. Basically, Mel Gibson's character gets frozen for 50 years in this little machine. And of course, when two kids just happen to come along and mess around a little bit, they cause him to thaw out. And suddenly he's back in the world 50 years later. So he's looking for his friend who originally froze him to let him know that not only did the experiment work, but he's alive. He's literally just trying to tell someone that this experiment worked. And he comes across a family, which is Elijah Wood and Jamie Lee Curtis. And he kind of just tries to start a life with them. It's a very good movie. It's complex. It's hard to explain. Number 10, Radio Flyer, released in 1992, starring Elijah Wood and Joseph Mazzello. So in this movie, we've got two kids who, their mom has just moved in with her boyfriend. And her boyfriend, little does she know, is quite abusive. So the younger son is scared hoopless of this boyfriend because he seems to be the target every time the boyfriend gets mad. And so the older brother, who is played by Elijah Wood, sets out to find a way to save his brother. And he takes interest in this story about a man named Fisher who built a plane or flying device out of a wagon called the Radio Flyer, and he was able to fly himself to safety. And therefore, Elijah Wood's character decides, we're gonna build this so that my little brother can be free and safe. And of course, like them all, beautiful movie, very, very sad, but at the same time, very, very real. But it's definitely like a movie that I feel like everyone kind of needs to see. Yeah, that is my top 10 list that I'm going to share with you guys today. I do have, like I said, a top 10 like family movie list that I would love to share with you guys if you'd like to see it. But I have also, like I said, been playing with the idea of doing a movie review channel because I love talking about movies. It's a thing that, like, when my friends come over, I'm always trying to find movies that they've never seen. I actually have like a massive passion for movies. It's kind of embarrassing, really. I honestly have collected movies like my entire life. It even like, I used to even like have like multiple copies of my favorite movies in case one got damaged. It's embarrassing, I'm sorry. But yeah, I've actually really been playing with the idea of starting a second channel for like movie reviews. Of course, I'd review like older movies, I'd review newer movies, I'd review like Netflix movies, Disney movies, like that kind of thing. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, please let me know in the comments, because it's actually something that honestly I feel like you can't really run out of material for that. Literally, I'd pick 2 or 3 movies per video, talk about them, let you guys know ahead of time what they are, so that you guys, I would make sure that I don't give away too many spoilers. It would be a review kind of like what I just did, except for I didn't really review the movie. I kind of just told you what they are and a little bit about them and kind of who's in them. But yeah, if that's something that kind of intrigues you or makes you think maybe I should do it, let me know, because I honestly would love to do that. Because like I said, how can you run out of materials when literally there's millions, if not billions, of movies in the world? And a lot of them I actually have on my bookshelf downstairs. So yes, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you liked this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye!